everybody. We're back again. It's Atlanta Discussed. I'm your host, your moderator, your uncle. It doesn't matter what you call me. I say some of you say it's a moderator, it's the uncle. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the most important thing is we're here. You know our tradition, we're true to power. We say the way it is, that's all. That's why today we're looking at electoral process. You know, and you know, in Nigeria, which a lot of you always accuse me of always talking about Nigeria, but I've told you, Nigeria is the largest concentration of Black people on the planet. The late Madiba said it, and it was very emphatic. He said, if Nigeria gets it right, Africa will get it right. Right now, Africa is the new frontier. The Russians are in Africa, the Chinese are in Africa. The Western world, that were the colonial rulers, they seem to be losing some ground, but they are holding firm. So, but the major albatross of the continent is the electoral process. In Nigeria, my own country of origin, in the past, the elections used to be free, but not fair. But right now, they are not free and they are not fair. So most of you of African origin follow Nigerian politics. In Nigeria, you see there are a lot of local government elections holding all over the country, especially the ones that happened in Rivers State. There was fight between the minister and the governor over who should be, how it should be, the conduct of the electoral process. It doesn't look too good, considering the fact that the last presidential election, Nigeria is yet to recover from the malaise, the anomalies, and the terrible ways it was organized. But having said that, today we're going to have a focal point on Ogun State. That's actually my state of origin in Nigeria. I'm sure some of you know, some of you don't know. So we're looking at the Independent Electoral Commission. But for local government, we always have state Independent Electoral Commission. So now in Ogun State, I think November 16, they're going to be having local government election. So we're going to look at how impartial, how straightforward state independent electoral commissions are. And we just don't know who else to pick but to talk to the leadership of the Labour Party. So today we have Mr. Tokunbo Peters, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Labour Party in Ogun State. Mr. Peters, welcome to Atlanta Discussion.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Let me make a brief correction. I am not the Public Relations Officer of Labour Party. Okay. I am the Publicity Secretary of Labour Party, the State Publicity Secretary.
No problem, sir. So, Mr. Tokunbo Peters is the Publicity Secretary of Labour Party in Ogun State. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right. Thank you very much.
He's a seasoned communicator of 35 years plus. So, I mean, so even correcting me in that he knows his onion very well. Yeah. So I like that. I mean, we're human. The election is around the corner, you know. So I want you to tell us what's really happening in Ogun State. I'm interested. Personally, I want to know. You understand? We really need to know. Are you prepared? Is Labour Party in Ogun State prepared? Let me start with that.
Yeah, let me start by first thanking you for giving me the privilege of appearing on your platform and using your platform to inform your audience about what is going on in Ogun State, the politics of the state, and the preparedness of Labour Party, which I represent, to participate in the election and win the election if the process is free, fair, and credible. So once again, thank you very much. Now to the main issue, how prepared are we in Ogun State for the election? Labour Party is very prepared. As a matter of fact, out of the 8 parties that will be taking part in that election, we are the most prepared. And we started our campaign before any other party. We have 18 parties with offices in Ogun State. Out of those 18 parties, only 8 parties have signified interest to participate in the local government election. And I wouldn't blame them, given what has transpired in other states of the Federation. As at today, out of over the 21 states that have conducted local government election in the country, with the exception of Rivers State, whereby the incumbent governor, Mr. Sim Fubara, allowed one party to win a local government, whereby his own platform, the platform he used, won all the seats with the exception of one local government. In every other state where local government elections have taken place, the ruling party of the state won the entire local government 100%. And that is why there is this apathy amongst political parties in Ogun State. They don't want to contest because they believe that irrespective of the votes that the OGSEP, which is an organ of the state, is going to declare the incumbent party as the winner of all the local governments. They believe in the maxim that he who pays the piper dictates the tune, because OGSEP, which is the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, is an arm of the state government. It's an agency under the state government. They are being bankrolled by the state government. And the head of OGSEP is an appointee of the state government. So they believe that the election is not going to be credible. But we on our side, the Labour Party, because we see ourselves as being the most popular party in the state, we have decided to participate in the process. 8 parties are participating. PDP and APC are contesting the election in all the seats, all the councillorship and local governments and local government chairman election are being contested by APC and PDP. We also have candidates for all the seats, but some of our candidates withdrew from the election on the excuse that they don't trust the process and they don't have money to take the state government to court in the event that the election is rigged. They said they don't have money to prosecute the cases. So 6 of our chairmanship candidates withdrew. So presently, we have 14 chairmanship candidates contesting the election in the state and 106 councillorship candidates. And we are hoping that we'll do very well in the election if the process is free, fair, and credible. Thank you.
Interesting. I was actually going to ask a follow-up question. A question that, do you have candidates in all the 20? And you just took it out of my mouth. So now you have 14 chairmanship candidates.
Yes, 14 chairmanship candidates and 106 councillorship candidates.
So which 6 local government don't you have candidates? Which 6?
Well, I don't have it. I wish the organizing secretary was here. No, I don't. If he's here, he will give you those 6. I don't have the data offhand, but if you give me 5 minutes, I'll fish them out.
No problem.
But I don't have.
So what are the major obstacles your party is encountering? You said OGSEC, that's the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission. Even though the word independent is there, is not particularly independent. I mean, I don't think there's any state independent electoral commission in the whole of Nigeria is independent. So we don't have to be diplomatic at that. That's a statement of fact. But what are the major obstacles your party is encountering? 1. 2, what, apart from being the most popular, what are the things that give you hope that your party is going to do well?
Now, let me say this for the record. The Labour Party presently is not just the most popular party in Ogun State, but it is the most popular party in the country. And the reason for this is not far-fetched, because APC as a party has failed the nation. There's hunger in the land. There's misery in the land. There's poverty in the land. There's despondency among the citizens. The citizens have been impoverished. People are finding it difficult to feed. A liter of petrol is over 1,000 naira. Car owners are now parking their cars at home and taking Okada. I don't know if your diaspora audience will know the meaning of Okada. Okada is more. So you will know, but I don't know if other audience will know. Okay. Okada is motorbike. You can imagine a car owner parking his car at home and taking a motorbike to the office, not even a taxi. Things are so bad that people are yearning for a change. And this election is seen as a referendum on the ruling party, both at the state and at the national level. And that is what gives me confidence that if the process is free, fair, and credible, that we are going to sweep the polls. But you see, in every process, there's the pros and there's the cons. The impediments which we have, first and foremost, is the process being credible. The independence in OGSET, that I in OGSET, is as useless as the P in psychology. We don't have confidence. We don't have confidence that that election is going to be free and fair. And the only reason why we are contesting is because we don't want to disappoint our supporters. We have our supporters out there who are relying on us. And because of the confidence we have in them, that is why we are sticking our neck out and we are spending the little money we have on publicity to contest in the election.
Okay.
That is one. Then
yeah.
Secondly, you are asking about our constraints.
Yes.
Secondly, the second constraint we have is that elections have been monetized in this country. It has been seriously monetized. We have the belief that if our candidates and our sympathizers and supporters go out on a door-to-door, house-to-house campaign, we are going to sweep the polls. But aside having a door-to-door campaign, every mass communicator, every graduate of communication knows that the radio is the most effective means of reaching out to a large number of people at the same time. But Labour Party, because of the issue of funding, you know, we don't have money bags in our party. Peter Obi is not a money bag. And even in Ogun State, we don't have money bag in our party. The PDP, they have Ladi Adebutu. The APC, they have the state government. But who does the Labour Party have? We only have the masses. And we cannot ask the masses that are finding it difficult to feed to come and donate money for us to prosecute an election. We can't ask people who don't know where the next meal will come from. I don't know if you are aware that back home now in Nigeria, not just in Ogun State, people don't eat 3 square meals. People eat 010 or 100. Some people don't even eat in a day. I know people, parents, family, men and women, who do not eat because they want their children to eat. When the food is not enough for the 4 members of the family, wife, husband, and 2 children, the husband will go hungry, will go to bed hungry, while the children eat the food. That is the situation. So we, the members of executive of the party, we are levying ourselves. We are levying ourselves, contributing money to produce jingles and place them on radio on behalf of the candidates. While the issue of printing campaign posters are left to the candidates in their various local governments. But we as the states, we have produced a general jingle, which we are placing on radio to create publicity, create awareness, and call on the voters to vote for us. Because it is not every voter that knows that the Labour Party is participating in the election. For the mere fact that people believe that the opposition parties might not want to participate because of previous experience, whereby the votes, the results are written irrespective of how the people vote. So those are the two major problems we have. The first one is the independence and sincerity of OGSET. That is the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission. And the second constraint is the issue of funding. Labour Party is a party of 4 people. Money to prosecute election. It will interest you to know that if you have a 60-second jingle, which is a corporate jingle for a bank will pay 15,000 naira to place a 60-second jingle on radio. But when it comes to political, they will be asking you to pay between 20 and 26,000 naira, depending on the radio station, because they believe that politicians have money. But we in Labour Party, we are retired civil servants, retired businessmen, people who believe in a change, people who believe in the philosophy and ideology of Peter Obi. We are coming into politics for service. We are coming into politics because we believe that a new Nigeria is possible. And we are de-emphasizing money politics. That is why we have this slogan that in Labour Party, we know don't give shishi. I believe that as an indigenous of Ogun State, you know the meaning of shishi.
Yes.
We know don't give shishi. We are de-emphasizing money politics. And we are putting emphasis on the popularity of the candidate, the popularity of the party, and the integrity of the people that are contesting. Because we have a philosophy, we have an ideology. And our ideology is to change Nigeria. We want a better Nigeria, not just for ourselves, but for our children's children.
That's interesting. You know, I'll still give you an opportunity to appeal to people that want to support you, especially people in diaspora. We'll talk about that. That possibly will be your last question. But before we get to that, I still have 3 or 4 questions I really like to ask you. So now let's talk about Manifesto. Now, according to you, you have this armada of candidates, competent with integrity and what have you. Now, what is the Labour Party saying that they're going to do at the local government level? What's in your manifesto? What are they going to do differently from APC, from PDP? What's in your manifesto? What are your candidates telling people? Can you share that with our viewers?
Yeah, we have 4 cardinal objectives. The local government election. The local government is supposed to be the grassroots government. The local government are supposed to bring governance closer to the people in the grassroots. That is what the local government are supposed to do. But over the years, the local government have become comatose. They have not been doing what they are supposed to do because of funding, because the government controls the fund and the governor decides what to do, not the local government. But with the Supreme Court judgment on the autonomy of local government, there's going to be a change because the local government will be getting the allocation directly from FAC, that is from the Federation Allocation Committee. So our own manifesto is this. We have 3 cardinal objectives. 1, you know that Ogun State has...
I lost you there.
Hello, sorry for the interruption.
Okay, go ahead. You can start from the beginning on what's in your manifesto. We read it.
So we have 4 cardinal objectives. Our manifestos contain 4 cardinal objectives. 1 is agricultural revolution. We want to redefine what agriculture is in Ogun State. We have vast arable land in all the local government that are lying fallow, that are not being cultivated. So all our chairmanship candidates, if they win, they are going to embark on agricultural revolution to make sure that we have abundance of food, not just for the states, but to also export to neighboring states. 2 is infrastructural development. I wish you can take a drive around Ogun State and see the rural routes. I'm just coming back from Ijebu-Ode, where I attended the Afenifere meeting. The roads are in terrible states. So all the local roads will be focused on. 3 is primary health care. There are primary health care centers in all the local government areas. But I pray you don't fall ill and visit any one of them. Number 1, they don't have doctors. Number 2, there are no drugs there, not even Panadol. So what we intend doing is this. Every year, we have doctors who participate in NYSC program. So our plan is that our local government chairman who belong to Labour Party will write to the NYSC every year during the personal parade, before the personal parade, that in our local government, we need 5 doctors for our health centers. We need 10 doctors, depending on the number of health centers they have. And the doctors will be running shifts so that at any time, when any member of the local government falls sick and visits the health center, you will meet a doctor there that will examine him. And we will ensure that we have drugs in those hospitals. We have people in Labour Party who don't have money, but they have connection. They have friends in the diaspora. They are going to reach out to their friends in the diaspora and reach out to various organs of the United Nations to donate drugs for us, for the health center. Even you in Atlanta, you are going to talk to your friends there to donate drugs, medical equipment, which we will use in equipping those health centers. Those health centers, most of them are just there for decoration. They don't have equipment, they don't have drugs, and they don't have personnel. So we are having a health revolution in the health sector in our local governments. And the last one, which governments, in the local government, our own regime, if by God's grace we win, is going to be different from what people have been experiencing in Ogun State. We want to use the local government election as a springboard where you show people something different and people see you as being distinct from others. By the time we are contesting the governorship election in 2027, people will vote for us because they know that we have distinguished ourselves in the local government. So they will entrust us with power at the state level.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Tokunbo Peters. You've spoken very well. So let me ask you this. Governor Dapo Abiodun is having a second term. I think it's almost 2 years into his second term. What's your personal or the Labour Party assessment of Dapo Abiodun's tenure as government thus far?
My assessment, in all fairness, I'll give him a P8. Wow. You know what a P8 is, don't you?
A step before F9.
A step before F9. and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. The supporters may want to argue with me, but I'll tell you why. In the last 1 year, petrol subsidy has been removed. And when petrol subsidy was removed, what happened? It means increased revenue to the states, right? It means the states have been collecting over 100% of what they were collecting in the past. But has that transferred into development? So what development have we seen in the last 1 year to justify the increase in allocation to the states? The roads are still as bad as they were before the removal of subsidy. It rained over the weekend massively in Ogun State. And a lot of places. After this program, I'll send you videos. I'll send you videos and pictures of flooded areas. Of course, flood happened all over the world. We know that. But when flood happened in a place where the road are dilapidated, where the road are terribly bad, you cannot drive from Abeokuta to Songwater. I believe you know where I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
You cannot drive there with your car. If you drive there with your car, you end up in the hospital treating back pain, treating pains in your joints. Not to talk of your car being damaged. Your shock absorber will be gone.
But that's a federal road, right? That Abeokuta old road, the old road.
Yes, that road is a federal road. But you know what was being done in the past? The state government, they seek for permission from Abuja. They carry out palliative on the road, repair the bad portion, and they get their money back. If a federal road is passing through your state, and the road is in a terrible bad shape, resulting into accidents, you as the state government, won't you run some palliative on the road? You take the pictures of the road before your repairs and take the pictures after the repairs, and you pass it over to the federal government for reimbursement. For crying out loud, both the state government and the federal government are from the same party. So there should be no controversy about the roads being repaired. Now, beyond the federal roads, have you tried visiting the interiors in the states? Interiors in Adodo, interiors in Abeokuta. There are places in Abeokuta, the state capital, where the roads are terrible. The roads have not even seen asphalt. It has never been asphalted since the roads were created. In my house, in the area where I stay, after building my own house, I sunk my borehole myself. I did the drainage in front of my house. We contributed money to buy transformer also. We graded the roads in our house. So what does government do for us? Despite the humongous tax we pay. What is the responsibility of government? We even hire security men all there, and we can each household pay 1,000 naira every month as a contribution to all there. So tell me, what is the function of government? Or is it also the responsibility of the federal government to do the drainage in front of my house? Is it the responsibility of the federal government to tar the road in my street? These are things that should be done by the local government. But the state government has taken over the functions of the local government because they control the funds. So these are the narratives we want to change.
Thank you so much. I was reading yesterday, and I was looking at IGR of states in Nigeria, and I think I found out that Ogun State had the 4th highest internally generated revenue. Yes, and so I'm just trying to buttress the point you made that I think Lagos is at the top, Federal Capital is 2nd, I think Rivers State is 3rd.
Rivers is 3rd. I think Oyo is 4th. I think Ogun is 5th. I think Oyo is 4th. Ogun is 5th.
Well, what I saw, Ogun was ahead of Oyo. So, and
okay.
After
you may be right. You may be right. I think Ogun is around between 4th or 5th.
Ogun is 4th. Then Delta is actually 5th.
Okay.
There's maybe 1 or 2 billion difference in the IGR. But I'm just trying to buttress the point that a lot of these monies are not commensurate to what you have on ground, so
that is the point I am making. They collect so much from Abuja. They also generate so much at IGR. But what do they have to show for it? What do they have to show for it in terms of their report card, in terms of development? But the infrastructures are in decay. They are in serious decay.
Okay, let me put this to you. November 16th, there's going to be local government election. I'm sure you will not be surprised if the OGSEC, that's the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, announces the result that APC has won in all the 20 local governments. I think that's what's going to happen, and
no, it's going to be difficult. We are going to make it difficult for them.
That's where I'm going now.
And I'll tell you how we are going to make it difficult.
Go ahead.
According to them, they said the election is going to be open secrets. Open in the sense that you'll be accredited at the polling station, that you are registered to vote, and that your name is on the register. You'll be identified either through your voter's card. They are bringing a new innovation to the whole thing. They said if you have lost your voter's card, you can use your driver's license or your work ID card or even your international passport. As long as the picture on that means of identification, that is your international passport, your driver's license, or your work ID card, as long as the name and picture on that means of identification tallies with the name on the voter's register, because the voter's register contains the picture of all people that are eligible to vote. Now, after you are accredited, and you are given the ballot paper, and you go into the polling booths, and you vote. After the voting exercise, upon completion of the voting exercise, the votes will be counted in front of everybody to be sorted out, counted, and the result will be declared. Now, one good thing about Labour Party is that we are a populist party, and we have a lot of people who are volunteered to work for us as polling agents. So our polling agents will be given a copy of the result sheet after the counting of the votes. The votes will be recorded on the result sheet. APC, 6 votes. PDP, 7 votes. Labour Party, 25 votes. And with this result sheet, they will now proceed to the collation center. And that is where they normally perform their magic. And we have visited the Commissioner of Police, and we have appealed to him that he should instruct his men and officers to be professional, because we are all Nigerians and we are all stakeholders in this election. We wouldn't want them to chase us out at the collation centers, because that is where they perform their magic. They will chase out the opposition parties, while the security agents and the ruling party will remain inside the collation center to write whatever they feel. They will start allocating figures as they deem fit to other parties. This is not going to happen. This is not going to be allowed to happen this time, because we are going to have the result sheet from all the polling centers. So at our own situation room, which we are going to set up before November 16, though we don't have the funds now. But as soon as we have funds, we have our collation room, whereby we are going to feed all these results into our computers, so that as the results are coming in, we are updating it, whereby we are going to have our own results for the 14 local governments where we are contesting this election. So that if at the collation centers, they announce anything contrary to what we have, we are going to protest. We are going to buy airtime in radio station and announce our own result, that from what we have, oh, this is our result, oh, but this is what OGSEP have announced, and we are going to court. And if you go to court and you have a very strong case, you have result sheets signed by the agents of other parties and signed by OGSEP, and it is different from what they have announced, then it means the court, whichever judge is handling the case, will have no choice but to upturn the result that was announced by OGSEP. We want to make history. We want to make a difference. Labour Party wants to make history in Ogun State by being the first opposition party that will win a local government election.
Interesting. I share your sentiments. I hope that it works out the way you say it. Because like I said when we started this program, I said in the past, the Nigerians' election have been free and fair. You know, they've been free but not fair. But now,
not fair.
But now they are not free and they are not fair. I mean, you saw what happened.
And they are not also credible.
And they are not also credible. So, I mean, you know, Peter Obi, a lot of people believe Peter Obi won the election.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Yeah, we saw the role INEC played, the judiciary and what have you. The rest is history, you know. And I have spoken on Atlanta Discuss. I've interviewed Akin Oshitoku. I'm sure you know him. I've interviewed
very well.
Yeah, Oseloka Obaze.
My senior colleague and mentor.
Okay, I'm sure you know Oseloka Obaze too. They're all the party stalwarts.
I do.
Kenneth Okonkwo, you know.
I do very well.
Mustafa Wakobia, they've all been my guests. Professor Patu told me, you know. So, you know, I've spoken to people. And now, one thing that was synonymous in all those interviews, they were like, okay, because I asked them, with benefit of hindsight, what did you think Labour Party did not do well in the last election and will address going forward? Now, Akin Oshitoku said that, well, there were situations in places like Borno State where they won the election in Christian-dominated Borno, and they did not have a party agent there. You understand? And it was not a free reign for APC or whoever to do as they wish. Now, in my personal investigation, and I've spoken to people in Lagos State, especially of the PDP stock, they said that in Lagos State, Peter Obi had over 1 million votes, that on PDP tally,
yes,
Obi had over 1 million votes, but they ended up giving him 500 and something thousand. So why am I saying this?
On the PDP situation room, the PDP situation room, Obi's vote was over 1 million.
1 million, yeah.
And despite all the manipulation, despite all the rigging they did in Lagos.
So my question is, we've always known this. We've always known this. And after all said and done, I've seen states whereby the state and local government election were abysmally, and when I say abysmal by Nigeria, our elections are already abysmal. So when it's abysmal below par, when they just announce results without recourse to the result, the court doesn't do anything. Because the APC, I'm sure, is going to tell you, go to court. That's what they're going to tell you, go to court. And we already know the courts are compromised. Do you have another plan B if the way you want to mitigate all this rigging doesn't work out? What's your plan B? Because based on the names I mentioned, yeah, the Oseloka, the Oshitoko and Co., they are saying, well, next election they'll be better prepared, you know, and they assured me they're going to work against it. They've learned their lesson. Now, Ogun State, what are you going to do differently? Maybe.
Yeah, the only plan we have is this. If the votes, if the results declared, if the announcement does not reflect the wishes of the people, and if it also does not reflect the result sheets which we have, because the result sheets will be issued by ODSEP at every polling booth, and we are doing our collation. So if what they announce at the collation center does not reflect what we have in our hand, we expect them to come out and tell us how they came about the result that was declared. And if they cannot do that in a convincing manner, it will result to litigation. And already we have lawyers who are members of Labour Party who are willing to handle this case that is going to be the fallout of the election. That is in the event that the election is rigged. The cases that will come up, we have lawyers that are willing to handle these cases for us on a pro bono basis. Our legal advisor, Barrister Ibiayo, is supposed to be on this program, but we were at Jebu together for a very meeting. And I believe maybe he's caught up in the hold-up or something, because the roads leading to his house in Ogun State is terrible. So maybe he's caught up in the bad road. That is why he's not on this program.
Okay, no problem. Let's go to something else.
We also have Barrister Phillips.
Okay.
Who is also a member of Labour Party in Ogun State. And they have all promised to handle these cases for us pro bono.
Fantastic. Let's go to something else. The Labour Party has been the devil with issue of leadership, especially the chairmanship position at the national level. Recently, the governor of Abia State, the former presidential aspirant of Labour Party, His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi, and a lot of party stakeholders picked somebody else. That's Nenadi Usman, former Minister for State for Finance, very an erudite and seasoned politician also. And later we got a court judgment that Mr. Abure still remains the chairman. Where is Ogun State in all this? Are you with the Nenadi Usman side or with the Abure side, or can you tell us what's happening?
Ogun State is focused on the local government election. We don't want to concern ourselves with what is happening at the national level of the party. But the leadership of the party in Ogun State respects the court judgment that has affirmed Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party. Majority of the members of Labour Party in Ogun State are obedient. I, as the publicity secretary, I am also obedient. I am an obedient. I am a supporter of Peter Obi. I came into Labour Party because of Peter Obi. If not because of Peter Obi, I'm not going to be a card-carrying member of the party. I rose to the position of the publicity secretary of the party in Ogun State because of the way I promoted Peter Obi during the presidential election. But that's notwithstanding, my loyalty is to the party and not to an individual. Since the court has affirmed Abure as the party chairman, I respect and I regard him as the party chairman. If tomorrow another court says Abure should vacate his position as the party chairman and recognizes the Nenadi Usman's caretaker committee, I'll also respect and accord them the same respect and recognition which I have given to Abure. But at the moment, Abure remains the party, the national chairman of Labour Party. And I respect him and I accord him the kind of privileges that a national chairman should be given.
So there is no division in Labour Party of the state, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, there are no divisions, to the best of my knowledge. But I am aware that some juvenile are saying that, how will I even put it? They cannot say they don't recognize the national chairman because by law he's the national chairman. But some juveniles are saying that they are pitching their tents with the Nenadi Usman-led caretaker committee. But that is not the position of the party. The position of the party, and I am a member of the ESCO of the party as the publicity secretary of the party. The position of the party is that Abure remains the national chairman of the party, and we abide by whatever directive he gives. But if tomorrow that judgment is appealed and the court says contrary, we will follow whatever the court says.
All right. So, I mean, you are an obedient. It's clear that Peter Obi is supporting Nenadi Usman, and they've gone to court. But what I gathered was when the Abure case went to court, Nenadi and the governor of Abia were not part of it. So they've added themselves to it now. So wait for the court to give their judgment. Now, before I allow you to appeal to people for support and all that, now, during the last presidential election in Ogun State, during the campaign, the Ogun State campaign for Labour Party for Peter Obi was not, wasn't well coordinated. There were issues of money. Doyo Okupe accused this. Some people accused Doyo Okupe and all that. And Obasanjo, former president, highly respected man, father of the nation, clearly supported Peter Obi. Baba Adebanjo, the leader of Afenifere, clearly supported Peter Obi. A lot of people from Ogun State supported Peter Obi, and one would feel that the rally for Peter Obi in Ogun State will have had a bigger and a more coordinated approach. What do you think went wrong at that period? Because we all followed it.
First and foremost, you must understand that during the last presidential election, we had the problem of cash. There was no money in circulation. That is one. Secondly, there was acute fuel scarcity. That is true. Now, on the day Peter Obi was billed to come to Abeokuta for his rally, the practice is that if a presidential candidate is coming to campaign in a state, supporters of that candidate from all the local government of the state will charter buses and troop to the venue of the campaign. In Peter Obi's case, first and foremost, money did not get to us until after the rally.
Oh, wow.
Because there was cash problem, number one. So the DG of the campaign or the coordinator of the campaign in Ogun State, who some money was sent to, he couldn't get cash from the bank because everybody knew that the banks did not have cash then. That was when the Naira was being redesigned, if you can remember, you know, if you can remember, we had a redesign of Naira. So the old notes were being rejected and the new notes were not available in large quantities. So the bank was not giving out money. Then if you go to the bank, they won't give you more than 5,000 Naira. And we needed thousands of Naira to hire vehicle. That is one. Secondly, there was no fuel. And to make the whole thing worse, transfers were not going. If you have friends back home, they will tell you then that for you to make a transfer, because the banks were not used to their platform being used for heavy transfer. So the traffic was enormous. And the sites of most of the banks were crashing. People were making transfers and the transfers were not going. So we found it very, very difficult to mobilize our supporters from the hinterlands, from the rural areas, to come to Abeokuta for that campaign. That was one of the things that affected our rally, the turnout of the campaign. But that is not to say that people did not vote for Peter Obi. People voted massively for Peter Obi in Ogun State. But because we didn't have polling agents in all the polling units in Ogun State, our votes were stolen. That is the long and short of it. And they just sat down in the collation center and they awarded 85,000 votes to Peter Obi, which was almost twice of what Atiku scored in Ogun State. It was almost twice, if not more than twice of what Atiku scored. Because I think Atiku scored 30-something thousand. You can check it online. He scored 30-something thousand votes in Ogun State. Obi had 85,000. And even Bola Tinubu himself had, I think, close to 200,000 votes. If my memory serves me right, I could be wrong. But the margin between Bola Tinubu in Ogun State and Peter Obi wasn't much, despite the fact that they had their agents all over the polling booths. And with all the things they did, you know, at the collation center, we still had 5,000 votes. I believe that answers the question.
Yeah, to a very large extent. And it actually tallies with what Mr. Oshutoko and Mr. Obaze mentioned, even though there were other militating factors. I mean, it's clear labor is people favored. What I will add there is that you have to give it to Labour in the presidential because they scored 6 point something million. Article 6 point something million, and the winner. Also
and as a matter of fact, the 6 point something million vote that was awarded to Obi was much more than that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not.
The election was rigged in a nauseating manner in Lagos. It was nauseating. It was beyond rigging.
Yeah, I know.
Nauseating manner in Lagos.
Yeah, I agree.
The same thing in Rivers State. The same thing in Rivers State. Can you imagine a scenario whereby APC defeated Labour Party in the presidential election in Rivers State? Is that even humanly possible? Is that humanly possible?
The truth of
Bola Tinubu is the president today. Allow him to walk on one street in Rivers State and allow Peter Obi to walk in another street in Rivers State. Let's see who is going to pull the most crowd. Even in Ogun State here, let Bola Tinubu organize a rally at MKO Abiola Stadium and let Peter Obi organize another rally at Ashero Stadium on the same day and the same time. Let us now see the rally that will draw more crowds. Let's see the rally that will draw more crowds.
We're pressed for time. We have to move to next and final questions. At least now, if they have the rally, there won't be an excuse for paucity of funds or no availability of funds. So now, the people, we have viewers all over the world, in all the continents of the world. And what do you have to tell people? What message of hope? If you need help, how can they help you? If they want to help you, how can they send help? Because for us, democracy is very important. It has to be well entrenched. what we do here, for us, we're just true to power. We monitor all elections. We're watching what's about to happen in Zimbabwe now. The party wants to force the president to continue. And Mr. Mwagwagwa said, no, he's not interested in continuing. So we monitor, we see ourselves as a moral conscience, especially for the African continent, the West African subcontinent, Nigeria, the largest concentration of Black people. So you want to appeal to people for help. I know you said there's paucity of funds and all that. So I'm going to give you, that's your last question and your parting shot to all our viewers. How can they help you? And if they want to help you, how do they send the help to you? Over to you, Mr.
Yes, unfortunately, I don't have the account details of the party, but it's a Zenith Bank account. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you send it to me, but, I can.
Yeah, I can send it to you. The organizing secretary has it, but I can send it to you when I get it from the chairman or the organizing secretary. But the major problem we have is that of funding, because we in Ogun State, we have been levying ourselves to fund the party to do all what we have been doing, you know. So who like lovers of democracy, people who are interested in having a new Nigeria, so that when you come back home, you will feel safe. The burden of people depending on you people that are in the diaspora. Because if the people back home, if they are not comfortable, if they are hungry, they'll keep pestering you for money and for assistance. So our mission and our vision is to see a Nigeria that works. We want to change the narrative. We want to instill good governance. If you cannot fund us, you can assist us by placing our jingle on the radio. That way, we'll give you the account number and the name of the radio station and a copy of the jingle, so that you can assist us to place those jingles directly to the radio stations in Ogun State. And we will acknowledge such help. You know, we have printed our posters, we have done our flex banners, but we need money for some other things, like hiring of trucks for our roadshow and rally, you know, like money for the payment of polling unit agents, because we are going to have polling unit agents in all the polling units where we are contesting this election. And like, you know, these polling unit agents, they are going to be at the polling booths from 8 a.m. till election closes by 3 p.m. And they will have, and our collation officers will accompany OGSEP staff to the collation centers where this votes will be collated. So we need money to pay these people. So apart from money to place our jingles on radio stations in Ogun State, we also need money to pay our polling unit agents and collation officers. So if our friends and supporters and sympathizers in the diaspora can assist us with funding, we'll be very, very happy. I don't have the account number of it, but after the program, I can text it to you so that you can use your platform to announce it to your audience. Nothing is too small. Even if it is $1 there, $2 there, nothing is too small. And for those who may wish to place those jingles directly on the radio stations for us, we'll be very, very happy. Because you see, Nigeria now, there are trust issues. If governments cannot be trusted, you'll be saying, how can you trust individuals who are not even in government? So if there are people who don't want to give us money, but they want to place our jingles for us directly on the radio station, we'll be glad. We have so many of them in Ogun State. We have Fresh FM, we have Splash FM, we have Rock City FM, we have Roots FM, we have Sweet FM, we have Lion FM in Ijebu-Ode, we have Radio Kuto in Ogun East. So I'm going to send the names of all these radio stations to you and the telephone numbers of the owners of the radio stations and their account number, so that you can contact them directly and assist us. Even you, Atlantic Discourse, we are hoping that you place maybe 20 slots of jingle for us in Fresh FM, that belongs to Ayefele, the popular musician. and Roots FM that belongs to Kunle Onime, you know. So if these jingles goes out and people hear them, it will win us more votes. Those are my party shots. And God bless you abundantly for featuring me on this program. I believe that this last 1 hour that we have been talking, we have been able to reach out to a lot of people. And I'm believing that God will touch their hearts and they will reach out to us either in cash or in kind so that we can win this election. Let us change the narrative. Let us break the jinx. We know that they will try to rig the election, but we'll be waiting for them.
Thank you, Mr. Tokunbo Peters. I've said it, I'll continue to say it. The ship of state in Nigeria is near rudderless. Nigeria is acting behind schedule. I mean, it doesn't matter which party is in government. If it's bad, it is bad. We need to change the political narrative. The vote of the people must count. It is so important. One reason why we featured Mr. Tokunbo Peters today is that people need to know what is happening at state and local government level. Most of the expose is always on the federal government all the time. There's actually no trickle-down effect. Professor Wakobe has started an NGO that's going to be looking at the state of the states. What are they doing with the IGR, internal generated revenue? What are they doing with their FAC allocation? So now we've seen states are all scrambling to get local government election done because of the new laws that state that money allocated to local government will go directly to those local governments, unlike in the past when they give to the state. And so the narrative has changed. But we do need credible people in governance. Now, it doesn't even matter who wins. What really matters is let the voice of the people be heard. Let the vote of the people be counted, which is what Mr. Tokunbo Peters is trying to say, the publicity secretary of the Labour Party of the state. According to him, if the election is free and fair, Labour Party will carry the day. There's no reason
definitely.
Yeah, there's really no reason for us to doubt him because it is common knowledge that in Nigeria today, the party at the helm of affairs has performed most abysmally. It's just unbelievable. I'm sure those of you that know about GDP and GNP who know what Nigeria is now the 4th or the 5th largest economy in Africa. Even there were some statistics I was checking out for economic development in West Africa. We're the only one going negative right now. Even Togo, Benin, they're ahead of us on some indices. So it's not just a personal thing. It is onerous on every one of us to make sure Nigeria does not crash because it's spiraling out of hand. That's why we do what we do, because we know if Nigeria gets it right, it will be good for everybody. We say we are the largest concentration of Black people. My friend from Botswana said, are we a nuclear power state? Do we have this? Do we have that? Does it protect? My friend from Tanzania told me that they have excessive power. They don't even know what to do with it. They have to switch off some turbines and what have you. He said, Nigeria, you just say you have this, that the whole of northern Nigeria have not had power for the last 10 days. And somebody will come and tell us that it was the transmission lines that were destroyed with almost 500,000 plus security apparatus, military, Navy, Air Force. It's getting very shameful. We don't pray to be a glorified Somalia. But Professor Otomi, when I asked him, Professor Ikedinati Patton, I asked him that, what do you think would be the end game if nothing changes? He said, we might just be a glorified Somalia, and we're getting close to it. So please, you heard Mr. Peters, we'll share the account number for you, we'll put it on the screen, and please give your widow's mind. Nothing is too small. Even in America, people just give. You can be independent and give. You can be centrist and give. You can be left and give. Today in America, a lot of people on the left are going right. A lot of people on the right are going left, So thank you, Mr. Tokunbo Peters. You're speaking very well. Bye. So it's going to be a wrap there. Thank you, everybody. And see you next week, Friday.
Labour Party!
Forward ever!
Ìtẹ̀síwájú, ìdàgbàsókè ti dé, pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ́ Labour, ìrọ̀rùn ti dé.
The good people of Ogun State, are you tired of the suffering, misery, and agony in the land? Do you want purposeful and responsible leadership at the grassroots? If yes, the Ogun State Labour Party is calling on all lovers of good governance to vote for all Labour Party candidates in the Ogun State local government election slated for 16th November 2024. For progress and development, agricultural revolution, transparency and accountability, and good governance at the grassroots, vote Labour Party. Let's start the change from the grassroots by voting for Labour Party in Ogun State. LP!
Papa, Mama, Pikin!